Forget all the fancy indicators out there. This is the one thing in trading that really changed everything for me. It made a huge difference. In just 2 days with 4 trades, I've grossed over $1,000 in trade. And these are even my best entry or exit prices. So in this video, I'm going to cover how you can enter these trades clearly at the right price and where to get out of. So stay tuned. I'm going to cover all this and more. All right. I have gotten a lot of questions on exactly what a change of character is and break of structure. And this all comes into market structure for trading. So tons of people use this in Forex and futures and stocks, you name it, it's on a chart. Even meme coins where I mention it, I am usually looking for a change of character on futures, either to predict reversals so we're able to get out of a play, or if we're hitting that play at the beginning, we can really up our risk to reward ratio and make a lot more money if we're hitting that reversal at the beginning. So these changes of character are extremely important to predict those trend reversals that may be coming. So as you can see here, we have break of structure. When you see a break of structure like this, and this, for instance, is in a downtrend, right? So we're probably taking shorts on our way down here for futures trading. So we have a break of structure here, continuing along this general short trend or downtrend that we have. You'll see here, we even got weak price action candlesticks. This is just an example, right? Textbook kind of example here, but we got little candlesticks, meaning weak price action. So this would be trying to hit this on a pullback, maybe at the 0.786 level and working our way down here. Now, when we see a change of character, let's say this downtrend ended, and now we have a change of character happening. Why? Because it came past this high here. This candlestick came past this high here. We also have a pretty bullish candlestick engulfing this bearish candlestick. So these are all market structure type trades that we're looking for when we are trading futures or meme coins or whatever it may be. So how do you get these break of structures and change this character to happen? So in a trending market, you're either going to have uptrends or downtrends. Okay. So on futures, for instance, we're either looking to take longs or we're looking to take shorts. I don't care which way. We're usually scalping on the 1 minute here. So as long as I'm getting a trade and a good setup and a good strategy going and it's following my rules, more than happy to make some money off of it. So in a general uptrend, which is what we have here, we're going to have higher highs, right? So we're making higher highs. Here's a high. Here's another high. Here's another high. These are all called higher highs. So higher high, HH, HH. You'll see that a lot on trading. The next one we're going to have some higher lows here. So these are lows. So if you were to draw a trend line from all these points, they should connect, right? Fairly well. It's not going to be perfect in trading, but fairly well. And that will create that general uptrend you'll normally see with these trend lines. So these are our higher lows here, creating market structure. This is exactly what market structure is when we are trading. So same with the downtrend. Now, instead of higher highs, we're getting lower highs here. So here's our original high, right? Then we created a lower high, then another lower high. And we also have lower lows. These are called lower lows here. So these are lows, these are our highs. So here's a low, here's another low, probably another low, kind of continuing in that downtrend. And what we're looking for here is I'm usually taking my Fibonacci retracement tool and looking for these pullbacks. If we're looking for a short, since we're getting this overall downtrend going, we're looking for those pullbacks, usually at that 0.618 and hitting our take profit levels at that 1.272, 1.618, depending on how far you want to try and write that down or up. So this is exactly what you see in the market. So maybe we had that general uptrend, as we saw on the last slide. We made a change of character. So this would be at the top, a change of character. Maybe there are some candlesticks. And then we got a giant bearish candlestick, let's say, for instance, creating a change of character, came back up. Now we're creating a break of structure down here, right? So we're creating changes of characters and breaks of structures on our way down from that general uptrend. And this is also called reversal trading. So here's a little bit better of an example, just with some general candlesticks. As you see, here's our general uptrend, just going up. If you were to draw a trend line, you could probably connect all these points. Same with this way. And you're creating these general breaks of structure here. BOS stands for break of structure. So as we're going up, break of structure, eventually the trend is going to be too strong and we're going to have to do some reversal. Okay. Especially if we're scalping on the 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute time frame. It will reverse on you throughout the day. Okay. So we're trying to scalp these entries and create some quick profits. My shortest trade is literally been a minute. Probably that happens once a week, I would say. And then our longest trades during the market opens are like 5 minutes to 20 minutes, I would say. So we're hitting these entries, we're hitting these pullbacks, and we're trying to get out at the 1.272, 1.618 level. If you wanted to do a trailing stop loss, I also go over that. But we have this general uptrend here. We create this change of character. So this means we could get a potential reversal. Does this always happen? No, it's trading, right? A good win rate in trading is 50%. Okay. So you're going to lose half your trade, you can win half your trade. And yes, you can still be profitable that way. So as long as you're following your rules, you're setting your stop losses, you are good to go. But here, we're in a general uptrend. We came down past this point here, creating a change in character. Now, what we can look for here are some fair value gaps. Maybe we created a fair value gap in here, a bearish fair value gap. We could look for entry on creating a lower high, as we saw on the last side, and then ride that down to the next demand point down here where, some maybe another bullish fair value gap is setting is usually what I look for on the 15 minutes and coming down through there. So this is the potential change in a trend, right? Does this always happen? No. Can you wait on higher time frames for a better change in direction? If you are in a general uptrend for the last day or so, if you look on higher time frames here, maybe you want to wait till this change of character is done, hitting the demand zone, and then look for the continued uptrend for a change of character back into this uptrend, because this could be internal liquidity, which I haven't gone over a lot in my videos, but it could be internal market structure or internal liquidity it's trying to sweep through here, because we are playing on the smaller time frames. But if you wait for another change of character, as I go over my other videos, and then create a higher low, you can look to continue on with this uptrend that maybe has been going on for a day or so. So as you'll see, this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes these can fail, right? We got to change character. However, we did not create a break of structure downward. It did not keep going downward. We did not get a lower high here. It shot through. It made a change of character even this way, right? We're getting a change of character here. Got to pull back and continued on with this uptrend. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. And you need to be aware. These are called, right? If you see this general change of character and we've been uptrending for a day or so, you may want to stick with longs here. Okay. I'm just talking futures trading, but you may want to stick with longs and just wait for that general change of character again and wait for a pullback at this level of a fair value gap or Fibonacci line, and then continue on with that general uptrend. However, like I said, if we did get a lower high here, we could possibly look at that reversal and take the trends downward. So here is just a quick textbook example. Again, you'll see we were probably downtrending for quite a while, hit this downtrend. We got some bullish candlestick momentum. You'll see a lot of bullish candlesticks in here. Coming back down, we made a higher low here. So now we actually have a higher low as well. This is all market structure, creating this change of character. Now here's our official change of character where we come past this high. And I go over a lot of this in my videos. And this is exactly what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a reverse in the trend. So we have a high, we created a higher low, and now we have our change of character. And now if you're a confirmation trader, right? I go over this in previous videos, but this is possibly where you could look to enter or something like that. We've also created a break of structure now, even better. So we're on our way upward. Now I'm just going to pull up some live examples from this morning of exactly what we saw. This was Tuesday the 15th. So Tuesday morning, New York's open, we were playing, and we saw the pretty much these exact things happen. Okay. So you'll see we're playing on the 1 minute time frame here usually. Okay. 1 minute, 5 minute, I'm usually looking at for fair value gaps. But what we did notice on Bitcoin here, okay, you delete this, right? So this was Tuesday morning around 8 a.m. Okay. So here is actually our previous day low. This white line here I have marked out. I'm always marking the previous day low in high at. Now, why is that? We are marking these levels out because we are scalping on the 1 minute, 5 minute time frame. So usually you're going to see price fluctuate back towards these areas. Our previous day high is all the way up here. So here's our previous day low. If you just move to the daily time frame, all you want to do is mark out that previous day candle from the top to the bottom. So here's the top of the wick, here's the bottom. You'll see we're coming back down, probably trying to hit this bullish fair value gap here. So on the 1 minute, a lot of times you will notice it will cut close to these areas. And then either A, we get rejection close to the top, or exactly at the top like we did back here. So you'll see, came right through this previous day low, retested it and came back down for all these short positions, and then tried to come back up again. So we got a bunch. This is just some Bitcoin here. Usually I'm trading Solana, but we're following Bitcoin because a lot of these altcoins will follow Bitcoin. As soon as we saw we got a change of character, yes, you can write this up. We created a higher low. We created a change of character here, right? We got our change of character. This is exactly like the textbook slide we saw. So we have a high, we have another high, we came back down. We created actually a double bottom here, not perfectly the higher low, I would say, but tried to come back down. And then we went back up. Now, if you're drawing your fib retracement as well, say we're drawing it. So you'll see it came down through our 0.618, 0.5 level, and then shot right through to our take profit levels around that 1.68, that 2 level, which, funny enough, this 2.272 lines up almost perfectly with our previous day low. So this is why we're trying to take profits at these levels. You can either scale out your position, maybe 50% here, 50% here, 50% here, however you want to do it, or you can trail your stop loss up. So that's what we're normally working with. But we did get that change of character. If you are having trouble seeing these on TradingView, there is an indicator called Lux Algo Smart Money Concepts. I just want to show you guys this. If you just type in Smart Money Concepts, because I needed this a lot in the beginning. This was like super foreign to me, right? You're trying to learn all this trading stuff. You're like, how do I tell what a change of character is and break a structure? This really helps you pinpoint it. It will print late, right? It's an indicator. A lot of these indicators will print late. You'll see how big this change of character is here. You'll see we came back down. It made some smaller changes of character. Granted, we're on the 1 minute. So if you wanted to move to the 3 minute, you'll see this is 3 minute or even the 5 minute. We can play with these higher time frames as well. Okay. So now the big thing with this play was we did come all the way up, right? We hit all the way close to our previous day low area. Now this is kind of getting an indication where we got this double top here. So again, another term. If you see a double top like this, and then we're making, if you haven't gotten out already, we also got a bunch of bear divergences. I do have an RSI video explaining divergences. I use it a ton in trading. It helps. It's basically an additional confluence that helps predict where we're headed with these trend reversals. So you'll see we're coming straight across here on the 1. Also on the 3 and 5, you can see all these bear divergences coming into play. So when you're looking at these higher time frames and these bear divergences are either in multiples or further apart, that's when I'm considering, hey, we probably may make a trend reversal here, and that's exactly what happened. So we got our trend reversal here. This is just on Bitcoin. But as you can see on the 5 minute, going back to overall market structure here, we can learn about changes of character. All right. So back here, it's around 9 a.m. my time, 9 a.m. Central. So we're at New York's market open. You'll see on the 1 minute on Bitcoin here, we have this lovely structure that's being broke. And it's really being broke because we're creating these big bearish candlesticks. So we got a lot of candlesticks at play. We're creating some bearish fair value gaps as well. And these are larger on the 1 minute. But if you're really looking at the 3 minute and 5 minute fair value gaps, those are my favorite. So 3 minute and 5 minute, those are my favorite. So the 3 minute and 5 minute fair value gaps are looking even better. So if we're looking at a pullback here, we already created this 3 minute fair value gap. We have another 3 minute. We have 2 3 minute fair value gaps in a row. We have the change of character in place. We have a bunch of bearish candlesticks coming in. If you do your fib, right? So if we're looking here, this would be a super quick play. This is probably 0.786. So it comes up to our 0.786. Yes, I'm usually looking at the 0.618 level here for entry, but we do have this fair value gap sitting here, this red box. So if you're looking for indicators for fair value gap on TradingView, fair value gap Lux Algo is the indicator I use, and it will pop up with those boxes if you're having trouble understanding fair value gaps. I also do have a fair value gap video on my channel if you want to understand more of those, but it's basically just 3 candlesticks and it's marking out the space. And a lot of times price will move back into the space to pick up what was left behind. So we created an imbalance in the market and it's trying to come back and pick up the space. Okay. So we hit our 0.786 and then it just freaking went right back into this overall downtrend we had this morning. Because this is exactly what I was telling everyone on live trading. And like, we are in an overall downtrend. Okay. Yeah. We hit an all-time high yesterday, Monday at 123,000. And then it completely flipped all day long, all night long. We were in a downtrend. We saw this on the 15-minute. Okay. We saw this 15-minute bullish divergence on the RSI. So you got to be aware of these bullish divergences. Every time I see one of these, sometimes it's just a fake out to the upside. Okay. So you can get a fake out to the upside. We got our previous day low sitting there. I was waiting for it to actually touch it more. It didn't, but it came back up to this previous day low pretty close. And I was like, we're probably coming at the end of this bullish divergence on the 15-minute. And we could just reverse back into this overall downtrend we had, okay? Because we're still in a downtrend. This just made another lower high here. So we have all these. We have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high, right? Here's our lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, okay? So you're going to get these fake outs to the upside, but if we're in an overall downtrend for the day, you may just want to wait for that change of character to go back into the original trend because it's not always going to reverse directly back to the upside. So in trading, the trend is your friend, and that is what you normally stick with. Got this move on Sol. Sol did the same thing. So as you'll see, we have Sol here. Go back to the 9 a.m. time frame. Sol, funny enough, here's Sol's previous day low, this white line here. So it came back above it, retested it. We actually had some 5-minute fair value gaps. So this one came right into our 5-minute fair value gap in 0.618 area. We have a change of character here. We have a high. We're making another high, right? And then we got our higher low. So we have our higher low at that 0.618 area. And we got a bullish fair value gap on the 5-minute time frame. We go here. Where's our bullish fair value gap? Sorry, just rewinding. But we have this bullish fair value gap right here. So from this wick to this wick, here's a bullish fair value gap. It came right down into this green box at the 0.618 level and hit our 1.272 pretty perfectly. This was also a pretty big liquidity sweep. This was right when Bitcoin hit that double top I showed you previously before just tanking, okay? So you want to be careful of what Bitcoin's doing along with the other coins because these altcoins will usually follow that. So we hit this liquidity sweep. We were able to get out of our long at that 1.272, came back down, right? We're getting another, guess what? Change of character here. I'll just pull up Lux Algo Smart Money Concepts. You'll see here's our change of character, right? To the downside. So out of that long around 9:15 a.m. and now we're flipping back down to the downside. So we got a change of character. Here's our break of structure. And then here is the end of the trend. Guess what we get at the end of the trend on the 1-minute time frame, right? Another change of character, some bullish fair value gaps. Now we're getting these breaks of structure again. So all these can be pulled up with that indicator and you can follow that up, right? So quick little sweep to the downside, to the upside. And this is what we are playing in the morning. We're trying to get in and out of these plays within 5 to 20 minutes. Nothing big. But also with this change of character, we actually on Solana did not get a 3-minute fair value gap. There was one trying to form and it was super tiny all the way up here. But had you drawn your fib, this way to this top and you saw this change of character, concluded that we were probably hitting these bearish divergences on the 3. So here's all these bearish divergences. You can see they're bigger and there's multiples of them. That's always what I'm looking for. If we just get one tiny one like this, not really worried about it. It can just signify a pullback, right? It's just tiny. Came up, pulled back, and then went right for this uptrend, okay? But if we're getting multiple of these, like we got a couple of bullish ones here, they're kind of larger. We got a couple of bearish ones here, they're larger. Then we can assume we may be able to go with these divergences at play. So this is what I'm looking at. So we have the CHoCH, came up to our 0.5 level, came way past down our 2.272 level. So I unfortunately took profits at 1.272, but if you're looking at this short position here, putting your entry, let's see, at 0.618, you're looking just above your stop loss above the 0.382 fib line / probably this area. We didn't have a fair value gap. Usually I'm looking to put my stop loss above a fair value gap candle. So if this was a fair value gap, I would probably put my stop loss above this fair value gap. However, we got our 0.382 fib line there, so that's good enough. And let's say we held it all the way to the bottom. If you have the patience, you're looking at a 6 risk reward ratio, meaning you put in $100, you can get $600 out of this trade. Granted, you have to have the patience to hold that trade. You're probably looking to get out these fib lines, so probably a 4 risk reward. So that'd be risking $100. Let's say you lose the trade, you'd lose 100. You win the trade down to this 2.272, which funny enough was with our bot in here. So that completely makes sense that it would come back into this zone, coming back into these wicks here, at the 2.272, and then coming right back up. So this is all in market structure. I do hope this video was helpful. I hope I didn't go too fast. I do know I need to slow down. If you guys are interested in this and do want to learn some more TA skills, I have a whole course. I believe it's 40 plus videos now. So we go over trading psychology, setting up perpetual futures accounts. You need help with VPN, stuff like that, leverage trading, how to set your leverage, how to calculate quantities, which is very important when it comes to profitably trading, your risk reward ratios, trading view, how to work and set up trading view there. And then all the TA concepts I wish I would have had in the beginning. A lot of the courses I took, I was talking with somebody in the group the other day. A lot of the courses I took in the beginning didn't go over these. I kind of learned them either on my own, reading books, things like that. But I cover a lot of concepts I wish I would have known in the beginning. Market structure, liquidity sweeps, candlestick patterns, chart patterns, Fibonacci, fair value gaps, MACD, RSI, change character, breaker structure, order blocks, Elliott wave theory, super important, reading price action. And then we actually have strategies as well, right? Fibonacci divergence, opening range break, we got reversals, meme coin as well. So going to be continuing to add to this as I get more time in my day. We do live trade futures. I would say every day. It's summer, I do have kids, but every day, live trading, recording futures. So as you can see here, we have all our futures lessons recorded. So if you can't make a session, then they are here for you to watch, either see me fail or succeed. They are pretty fun to watch, but we do live trade futures morning and night in my group as well. So with that, if you guys do have questions, please drop them in the comments below. I get a lot of questions on changes of character because I always talk about it. Why I am so, passionate about changes of character is I used to be screwed on reversals all the time. So I was trying to better predict of when the chart was going to reverse on me and possibly stop me out. So I just wanted to prepare in case the reverse stopped me out a long or short trade, or I could catch that reversal early enough to make a lot more profit off it, right? Because if you're catching those reversals at the top of the trend, you can ride that all the way down to that 2.272 sometimes, and you can catch a lot of profits off that trade. Anyways, drop your questions, comments below, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you.